Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Melhorn, Director of Agency Marketing here at JPL, and I will be your host for today's webinar, Social That Sticks with Families. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. We are excited to dig into a topic that is full of opportunity for family-focused brands. If you're looking to better connect with parents, you are in the right place. If you're new to JPL, here's a quick look at who we are. JPL is a family-focused marketing agency helping brands connect with parents in real, meaningful ways that drive action. We specialize in delivering digital experiences and authentic storytelling that help you grow. Our team has spent decades helping organizations evolve from simply selling solutions to becoming trusted family allies. Now, I'm excited to introduce your speaker. Lindsey Williams is JPL's lead strategist for parent and family marketing. She brings 20 years of experience in audience research, strategy formation, and performance measurement. Her brand portfolio includes Johnson & Johnson, Comcast Xfinity, The Hershey Company, Campbell's Soup Company, Sylvan Learning, Commonwealth Charter Academy, the United States Coast Guard Academy, and the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education, just to name a few. Before we get started, a quick note. This is a re-recorded version of our live webinar where we hit a little audio snag. We're excited to bring you this clean version with all of the original content, plus the poll results and answers to the great questions you asked during the live session. All right, take two is all yours, Lindsey.
Thanks, Jessica, and thank you to everyone who attended the live session and those who are viewing today's recording as well. I'm excited to share some interesting insights with all of you related to parent and family marketing. As Jessica mentioned, I'm a marketing strategist, but I'm also a mom of three. And I thought it was only fitting to start with our to-do list, because what parent doesn't love a to-do list? So number one, what do we want to do today? We want to understand today's parent power. So we're going to talk about parents as the new digital power audience, and we're going to go through some trends and understand what's resonating with them now. Number two, we're going to meet parents where they are. So we're going to do a deep dive into different social platforms and start to understand the parent influencer ecosystem. Then we want to personalize the parent journey. So we're going to talk about segmentation and metrics that really matter. And finally, number four, we're going to turn insight into impact. And we're going to talk about how we can put this strategy into action this year. But first, we wanted to start with a poll to really understand what your biggest challenge is that you face when marketing to parents on social. So, is it knowing what content resonates, standing out in a crowded space, reaching the right segment, or turning engagement into action, or just keeping up with the trends and platforms? So during our live session, we heard 39% of you said that your biggest challenge was turning engagement into action. So really trying to understand how to convert. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on today. 28% said standing out in a crowded space. Standing out, of course, it's really all about finding that sweet spot between your differentiators and what parents really care about. 19% said knowing what content resonates. 8% said keeping up with the trends and platforms, and 3% said reaching the right segment. So today, we're focused on one of the most underestimated yet undeniably powerful forces in the consumer marketplace: parents. Parents aren't just managing snack time and soccer schedules, they're driving purchasing powers in ways we've never seen before. In fact, parents are responsible for up to 70% of all domestic purchasing decisions. That's groceries, tech, toys, furniture, even financial services. If your brand isn't speaking to parents, you're likely missing the biggest decision maker in the room. And let's zoom even further, because the real powerhouse, it's millennial moms. Millennial mothers are influencing an incredible 85% of all household purchases. Just wrap your head around that for a minute. They're not shopping for their kids. They're curating entire lifestyles for their families. And with over 31.8 trillion in global spending power, these moms are making serious waves across every industry. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. The digital mindset of millennial and Gen Z parents. These parents are social first. They're not flipping through catalogs or waiting for commercials. They're scrolling, tapping, and sharing. In fact, a staggering 85% say that social media directly influences what they buy. So where are they hanging out? The platforms where content meets culture. Think TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest. These aren't just places to watch dance trends. They're product discovery engines. They're where parents go to get inspired, learn what's working for other families, and decide what's worth spending money on next. But let's talk about how they're consuming content, because their habits have changed in big, meaningful ways. We're living in a mobile-first world. With smartphones in hands from morning coffee to midnight scrolling, parents are constantly plugged in, and they expect brands to be optimized for that mobile experience. This means everything from your website to your creative needs to feel natural and seamless on a small screen. If it's not thumb-stoppable, scrollable, or snackable, it's going to get skipped. And speaking of snackable, let's talk about short form. Short form video content has absolutely exploded. Why? Because busy parents don't have 10 minutes for 10 minutes ads. They want quick, compelling, visually engaging moments that grab attention fast and deliver value even faster. Whether it's a 15-second parenting hack on TikTok or a 30-second product reveal on Reels, these bite-sized stories are winning hearts and winning wallets. But here's the clincher. It's not about being fast. It's about being felt. Emotionally resonant content, the kind that makes you laugh, cry, nod along, it doubles your chance of success, literally. Emotionally resonant content are twice as likely to be effective. Why? Because when parents feel something, they remember it. And more importantly, they share it. So if you want to stand out, think less billboard and more human. Lead with empathy, relatability, purpose, because at the end of the day, it's not just content, it's connection. But let's dig in even further, because beneath those insights are some really powerful cultural undercurrents shaping what parents want, how they engage, and which brands they bring into their lives. These trends aren't just passing fads. These are real, meaningful shifts in how modern parents are expressing themselves, how they're building community, and how they're making purchasing decisions. So let's dive into the first one, a trend that's messy, honest, and refreshingly human. Gone are the days of airbrushed aesthetics and picture-perfect parenting. Today's parents are embracing something radically refreshing, authentic chaos. A 2025 survey found that over 60% of parents are stepping away from curated, perfection-focused social feeds. Instead, they're leaning into the realness, the mess, the noise, the spilled milk, the tantrums in Target. I mean, we've all been there, because that's what parenting actually looks like. This shift, what some are calling curated chaos, isn't sloppiness, it's strategy. Influencers and everyday parents alike are now showcasing deliberately messy moments. Laundry piles in the background, mismatched socks, cereal for dinner, and audiences are loving it. Why? Because it feels real, it feels human, and it says you're not alone. So what does this mean for us as marketers? It means perfection is no longer the standard. In fact, it can be a turnoff. If you want to connect with modern parents, trade the staged for the sincere. Think less aspirational and more relatable. Feature real families, unscripted moments, and humor that hits close to home. Authenticity builds trust, and trust is your most valuable currency with this audience. This shift isn't just something we see in user behavior, it's influencing creative direction at a brand level too. Take Free to Baby, for example. Their Real Reviews campaign brought unfiltered product reviews to life, complete with animated chaos and raw honesty. The Windy spot, voiced very appropriately by Amy Schumer, leans fully into the messy realities of parenting, embracing humor and realness as it dramatizes one parent's experience with gas relief for their baby. Let's watch.
Frida presents real reviews, really written by real parents. I have a 7-week-old baby from hell. She is so gassy, but can't get anything out. And it was on my 3rd night of her screaming at me, and I thought to myself, if there is a God in this world, these butt straws will work. And then, when I did, the smelliest, most glorious gas passed, and then came so much poop. Dang, Frida, everything you make is gold. Frida presents...
How good is that? It's real, it's relatable, and it's hilarious. It's exactly the kind of authentic chaos today's parents connect with. The takeaway here is simple. Brands that reflect real life build real connection. So take a cue from these campaigns, embrace the mess, celebrate the moments. That's where the magic is. So we wanted to take a minute for a quick poll because we were curious how you see imperfection showing up in your brand's approach to connecting with modern families. In our live session, we heard that 59% said that they were still exploring, but balancing this with aspirational imagery. 30% were not yet focused on this. They're instead focused on the more idealized or traditional portrayals. And 11% said they were leaning in, that it was the real life messiness and it was central to their storytelling. So definitely lots of people exploring this. That's great. And 11% leaning in, well, it's definitely an area of untapped potential. And I get it. It can be scary. I think it's all about providing structure around those imperfections, just so you can ensure that you're retaining brand integrity as well. All right, let's look at trend number 2. It's all about value-driven content that doesn't take itself too seriously. Modern parents aren't just scrolling for entertainment. They're looking for solutions, support, and let's be honest, a good laugh along the way. More and more, we're seeing parents gravitate toward educational and humorous content that actually makes their lives easier, or at least makes them feel seen. That means bite-sized parenting tips, clever product hacks, and content that says, hey, we know it's tough. Here's something that might help. Whether it's a new bedtime trick or a funny take on toddler tantrums, this kind of content meets parents where they are, in the middle of the madness. TikTok in particular has become a hot spot for this kind of relatable utility meets humor content. We're seeing parenting trends take off that blend life hacks with levity, from 5-minute lunchbox ideas to diaper bag packing tutorials that double as stand-up comedy. And it's not just short form. Podcast tutorials and videos are gaining serious traction too, giving parents something to learn from while folding laundry, commuting, or just trying to steal a moment of calm. We're seeing this trend play out in some really smart, creative ways from brands that combine education, humor, and practical value. Tile by Life360 launched a campaign called Family Proof Your Family, which hits that perfect balance between helpful and hilarious. It leans into real-life scenarios and wraps safety messaging inside storytelling that actually makes you smile, laugh, and possibly cringe. Let's watch a quick clip.
First, I want to thank you all for coming today. My mother was a great person. I know my mother would have been grateful, and that's something I knew. She would give you the clothes off her back if you needed them. She would do anything for you. Help! All of y'all here today will always remember. Mama?
Family proof your family. Send an SOS with Tile.
Brilliant, right? This is exactly what modern edutainment looks like for families. Funny, but valuable. And Life360 isn't alone. Cocomelon's first ever brand campaign tackled real parenting challenges like potty training, bedtime, and picky eating with a clever mix of nursery songs and practical life hacks. And Enfamil's A+ Moments focuses on short, inspiring parenting wins, celebrating tiny victories with emotional resonance and encouragement. All right, let's move into a trend that speaks directly to the evolving relationship between parents, their children, and the brands they invite into their daily routines. Today's parents aren't just shopping for their kids, they're co-creating experiences with them. And they're looking to brands that can become more than just sellers of products. They want partners in play, learning, and quality time. This is where we see a powerful trend emerge: brands as digital playmates. Parents are seeking out brands that provide engaging, educational, and interactive content tailored for their children. Content that doesn't just entertain, but enriches. And here's the key: 75% of parents say they're comfortable with digital play as long as it complements real-world interaction. So this isn't about screen time for screen time's sake. It's about technology that enhances together time, sparks curiosity, and creates shared experiences. One brand doing this brilliantly is Chick-fil-A. In 2024, they launched the Chick-fil-A Play app, a digital playground designed for kids and families. It features everything from child-family-friendly podcasts to family games and original video series that promote creativity, curiosity, and connection. And here's the magic: it doesn't just live in the App Store, it extends Chick-fil-A's brand from a dining experience to a daily presence in the home. A trusted brand becomes a trusted playmate. So we asked, how is your brand creating value for families beyond the product or service itself? And 43% said that you're really still focused on real-world activations, things like events, in-store experiences, and community programs. That's great. Those are definitely a critical element of brand extension. 33% said this is something that you're still exploring, how to, extend that brand interaction beyond the core offering. 20% said that your value add comes through storytelling, so content that fosters connection and reflection. And 3% said that you're developing digital experiences. So definitely another area of untapped potential. Put some thought into what makes the most sense for your brand from a digital perspective. So coming off of the idea of brands as digital playmates, there's another powerful shift we're seeing, a trend rooted in something beautifully timeless: families connecting through shared content. Trend 4 is multi-generational moments. More than ever, parents and kids are engaging with content together, not just as passive viewers, but as co-experiencers. Whether it's a silly video, a science experiment, or a nostalgic throwback, content is becoming a way to bond across generations. In fact, over 50% of US children ages 2 to 12 regularly co-view YouTube content with a parent or a family member. And here's what's really important for us as marketers: those shared viewing moments don't just create laughs or learning, they heavily influence parental purchasing decisions. A beautiful example of this trend in action is Disney's 100th anniversary campaign. Disney leaned into cross-generational storytelling, using nostalgia, emotion, and shared experiences to bridge the gap between generations. They celebrated the magic that connects kids discovering Disney for the first time and adults who grew up with it. Let's take a look.
Red, white, and wow! Save up to 30% during the 4th of July sale.
Marketing.
More Flanagan.
Everywhere.
Hola, soy Dora. I'm Boo. Ready for an interactive adventure with Dora? Vámonos! Let's go!
Okay, here we go.
Wondering, wishing and waiting, curious. I think we've been able to capture that, but maybe I can show you what I mean.
In a faraway land, long ago,
once upon a dream.
I wish.
I wish.
I wish.
Don't you remember? We've met before. Once upon a dream.
We keep moving forward because we're curious. Give the public everything you can give them. Keep it friendly. Make it a real fun place to be. So long, boys! Tell great stories. Make dreams come true.
Second star to the right. Straight on till morning.
We're just getting started.
That campaign is such a masterclass in emotional resonance. It doesn't just target one demographic, it embraces the entire family. It invites everyone into the story. And when you do that, you're not just selling a product, you're becoming a part of people's family history. So as we wrap up our trend exploration, this final one brings us full circle to something personal, powerful, and deeply resonant with today's parents, behind the brand parenting. More and more, we're seeing brands open the curtain and saying, hey, we're parents too. Whether it's through founder features, employee spotlights, or simple day-in-the-life stories, brands that highlight the real parents behind the product are striking a chord with their audience, and it's working. 78% of Gen Z and millennial parents say they're more likely to trust a brand that shows the real people behind the scenes, because for today's families, transparency isn't just appreciated, it's expected. One standout example is GE's What My Mom Does at GE campaign. This campaign put the spotlight on real employees who are moms, showcasing not just their work, but the pride their children feel watching them do it. Let's take a look.
My mom, she makes underwater fans that are powered by the moon. My mom makes airplane engines that can talk. My mom makes hospitals you can hold in your hand. My mom can print amazing things right from her computer. My mom makes trains that are friends with trees. My mom works at GE.
It's beautiful, right? This is storytelling rooted in truth, and it humanizes the brand in a way that no slogan ever could. GE didn't just say, we support parents. They showed it. And in doing so, they connected deeply with other parents, navigating the same balance of work, life, and purpose. So understanding what resonates is just one piece of the puzzle. The next step, knowing where to show up and how to tailor your message for each platform. Different generations of parents have different digital habits. It's not one size fits all. So let's break it down. Gen X, think late 40s to early 60s, are loyal to Facebook and YouTube. They're comfortable with longer form content and lean into those platforms that offer information and community. Millennial parents, those in their late 20s through 40s, are active on YouTube and Instagram. They're highly visual. They seek inspiration and love connecting with brands that understand their lifestyle. And Gen Z parents, yes, they're here too. They're showing strong presence on TikTok and YouTube, where raw, fast, and culturally relevant content reigns. So how should we as marketers show up on these platforms? Let's take a quick tour. Instagram is all about product storytelling. Think influencer reels, behind-the-scenes content, and interactive features like polls and Q&As. Tone-wise, it's a sweet spot between aspirational and relatable, so your content should feel like something a friend might post, but with a little bit more polish and purpose. On TikTok, the rule is don't overthink it, just be real. Here, it's all about trend jacking, POV style humor, and quick hit parenting hacks. This is raw, fast-paced, peer-to-peer environment. So ditch the brand voice and show up like a trusted, funny friend who just gets it. Facebook may feel old school, but it's still a goldmine, especially with Gen X and older millennials. Focus on community building, live Q&As, and promotional content that invites discussion. The tone should be informational, helpful, and casual. This is like the backyard barbecue of the social platforms. Pinterest remains a go-to for visual-first planning and inspiration, especially around parenting moments. Think step-by-step guides, printables, checklists, and how-to pins. If you can help a parent plan a birthday party or organize a chore chart or prep school lunches, they'll save, share, and come back for more. And finally, YouTube, a powerful channel across all parent age groups. Use it for long-form tutorials, day-in-the-life content, and expert-backed videos. Here, parents are seeking substance, so aim for content that's informative, polished, but still feels human and relatable. So here's a key takeaway that often gets overlooked. It's not just what you post, but how you deliver it that determines whether your content gets skipped. Micro interactions, interactivity, and fast formats are helping brands stop the scroll and drive engagement, especially with time-strapped and content-savvy parents. Let's look at a few smart ways to adapt how you show up on each platform. Instagram, think about polls and stickers. It seems really simple, right? But polls and stickers are powerful tools. They're fantastic for micro engagement and collecting quick product feedback. You could post which snack wins in your house, goldfish or granola bars, and parents love to weigh in. It's that kind of interaction that boosts story completion rates and time on content in a big way. You want to start a trend? Let your audience co-create with you. Duets and reaction videos on TikTok are perfect for branded challenges. Use custom audio or a POV script and invite parents to show their version. Think diaper change fails, lunchbox hacks, messy house tours. It's fun, relatable, and it spreads fast, especially when it feels unscripted. YouTube Shorts are all about teaching in under 60 seconds. Parents are hungry for solutions, but they're also short on time. And YouTube Shorts are perfect for that snackable education. You could try 3 car seat mistakes to avoid or how to fold a stroller in 5 seconds. These quick hits are highly shareable, especially in parenting circles where helpful equals viral. And Pinterest, it's all about utility meets beauty. Use step-by-step pins to show how to make a DIY reward chart or prep a week's worth of lunches or create a morning routine board. Add CTA buttons and printable links to drive conversion. This audience loves anything they can save, print, and plan with. Each platform gives you a different tool to invite interaction, solve problems, or simply spark a smile. So think beyond the headline and think about the format that's really going to make your message land. So far we've explored how content trends are evolving, how parents behave on different platforms, and how smart delivery drives connection. Now it's time to talk about the people driving that connection at scale, parent influencers. This is no longer just a handful of mommy bloggers and viral dad jokes. We're looking at a full-blown ecosystem of trusted voices who are reshaping how parents discover, trust, and buy. Why does this matter? Because in 2025, peer influence is the new power currency. Parents don't just want to be marketed to, they want to learn from people who are in the trenches with them. Here's the truth. Today's parents don't want polished, perfect brand messaging. They want honest, lived experience, and that's exactly what parent creators deliver. A whopping 78% of millennial and Gen Z parents in the US say that they trust product recommendations from other parents more than from brands and celebrities. Why? Because other parents are living their reality. They know the difference between a product that sounds good in a tagline and one that actually works during a 4 p.m. meltdown. And it's not just about passive trust, it drives action. 46% of parents say they've made a purchase in the past 30 days because a parent influencer recommended it. That's not future potential, that's right now bottom of funnel influence. Plus, parent creators aren't just more trusted, they're more effective. They generate 32% higher than average engagement rates than general lifestyle influencers. Why? Because the content feels personal, it's helpful, it feels human and not promotional. And here's where it really gets interesting. Brands are seeing a $5.78 return for every dollar spent on parent influencer campaigns. That outperforms traditional paid media benchmarks by a long shot. So if you're still allocating all of your budget to paid ads and ignoring parent creators, you're leaving real value on the table. Parent creators aren't just content machines, they're trusted peers, they're community builders, and they're purchase drivers. They represent what modern marketing is all about, real people influencing real decisions in real time. Now that we've seen why parent influencers are such powerful allies, let's talk about how we build those partnerships, because it's not random and it's definitely not transactional. For us, it's not about casting talent. We look for alignment, shared values, real voices, and creators who are already earning trust within their communities. Here's how we do it. We prioritize authenticity over follower count. We start by looking at micro and mid-tier parent influencers. Think that 10,000 to 100,000 follower range, because they consistently outperform celebrity accounts when it comes to engagement, trust, and community. Look for creators who share messy, everyday parenting moments, not just polished product posts. If their content feels like a friend's story and not a sales pitch, that's a green flag. Next, we audit their content history. What's their tone? What values do they reflect? Are they consistent in how they show up? We look for creators who showcase vulnerability, diversity, and relatability, and we avoid voices that lean into anything that's divisive or misaligned, especially on sensitive parenting topics like health, education, and discipline. Next, we look at engagement, and we look at quality over quantity, because follower count doesn't matter if no one's talking back. We go deep into the comment threads and we look for genuine conversations. Are people asking questions? Are they sharing experiences? Do they have thoughtful replies? If a creator's community is active, personal, and emotionally engaged, that's a signal of real influence, not just vanity metrics. Next, we match creators to our product's family life cycle fit. That means thinking about parenting stage. Are they parents of toddlers or parents of tweens? First-time moms or seasoned parents, single parents or dual parent households. Because relevance isn't just about what you say, it's about when and who you say it to. And finally, we always align creator strength to platform context. TikTok creators for humor and hacks, Instagram for lifestyle storytelling, and YouTube for deeper tutorials and explainers. It's not one size fits all. We meet parents where they're most engaged. It's tempting to treat influencer marketing like a quick hit media buy. Drop a post, get clicks, move on. But the real opportunity, the kind that builds lasting brand trust, comes when we shift our mindset from transactions to true relationships. And the good news is you can absolutely do this. We've seen what works, and these are the practices leading the way right now. Think beyond one-off posts. We recommend building 3 to 6 month collaborations that allow creators to weave your product naturally into their real life. Think seasonally, like back to school or baby's first year. When audiences see repeated use over time, recommendation starts to feel like a lifestyle and not a one-time ad. Next, co-create, don't just brief. Treat creators like collaborators, not content studios. Don't hand them your creative brief and just expect execution. Instead, invite them into the process. Give them the freedom to adapt your message in their voice. Parent creators know their audience better than anyone. So when you co-create, you're not just getting content, you're gaining insight. Celebrate their whole identity. Great partnerships aren't just transactional, they're built on mutual respect. Support your creators beyond the project at hand. Comment on their non-sponsored posts, share their family wins, engage with who they are, not just what they're promoting. When creators feel seen and supported, advocacy becomes authentic. And want to really deepen that relationship? Think exclusive perks. Let longtime partners be the first to try new products or test early releases or shape pilot programs. This creates genuine excitement and makes them feel like insiders, not just contractors. And finally, measure more than just ROI. Look for loyalty indicators. Are they referencing your brand even when they're not paid to? Are they answering questions and comments on your behalf? Are they tagging you in unrelated content? That's the gold standard, because when creators become true advocates, the value goes far beyond a post. And here's the best part. You don't need a massive budget to do this well. Whether you're at a startup or a global brand, there are parent creators out there who can become powerful advocates for your product. If you're willing to invest in the relationship, they'll invest in your story. So lean in. So we've talked a lot about connection, how to show up with empathy, with relevance, with real voices. But here's the next level, personalization. Because as much as we talk about parents as a group, the truth is every parent is not the same. Their needs, mindsets, routines, and even platforms shift dramatically based on life stage and life cycle. If you want to be truly relevant, stage-based marketing isn't just smarter, it's essential. Let's start with life cycle. Where a parent is in their journey radically shapes what they care about, what they need help with, what they're ready to buy. If they're expecting, think baby prep, maternity, wellness, gear research. This is an emotional and info-heavy phase filled with planning and anxiety. Your content should calm, guide, and simplify. If they're in the newborn to toddler stage, this is all about survival. Parents are focused on essentials like diapers, feeding, sleep support. Think fast solutions and parent-to-parent reassurance. If their kids are preschool to elementary age, that 4 to 10-year age range, now we shift into structure and learning. Lunchbox snacks, school routines, chore charts, and educational content. Here, organization tools and emotional support resonate. And finally, if they have tweens and teens, this stage is all about independence, mental health, and tech. Parents are navigating boundaries and guidance, so offer tools that promote confidence while keeping connection intact. But age alone isn't enough. We also map parents by psychographic traits, the motivators that drive their daily choices, their interests, and their lifestyles. Think about health-conscious parents. They're looking for things like clean labels, wellness tech, and holistic care, whereas eco-minded families might be caring more about sustainability, reusability, and minimal waste. Working parents are going to be craving time-saving tools and flexible routines and digital-first services. And maybe adventure-driven families want travel hacks, outdoor gear, and spontaneous weekend inspo. When you speak their mindset and not just their moment, you build real resonance. And finally, meet them where they're most active. Match the platforms they're on. Are they younger parents, especially Gen Z and younger millennials? They live on TikTok and Instagram. Older parents, Gen X especially, are strongly engaged on Facebook and YouTube. And Pinterest, that's the universal planner's paradise, a platform that transcends age and thrives on life stage moments. These bios that we've now created are a starting point, but behavior is the truth. It's easy to segment parents by age, by household size, by income, but those aren't the signals that drive precision. If you want to connect in a way that feels personal, you also have to track what parents actually do, not just who they are. Let's start with the action layer. Real-time behaviors that give you clues into what a parent needs right now. Think content engagement. Did they just post about potty training? Then serve up related tools like toddler undies or reward charts. Look at their purchase history. Did they make multiple orders of baby wipes in a short window? That's your chance to trigger an upsell, maybe a subscription bundle or a wipes and diapers convenience kit. Look at their search and browser behavior. Are they searching summer camp or tutoring content? That's a school-age parent and likely in a planning phase. And check out their click behavior on ads. If they clicked on a family budget planner, that's an interest in financial tools, in apps, and content around money-saving parenting. But beyond behaviors, the context matters. Here's where we sharpen segmentation based on when and how. Consider time of day or time of week. Parents we know are most active on mobile after 8 p.m. once that household is quiet and the couch scrolling begins. Think about seasonal patterns like back to school, holiday gifting, summer travel. These aren't just moments, they're mindsets. And look at hashtag follows. Monitoring hashtags like mom life and dads of TikTok doesn't just tell you who they are, it reveals what kind of content they connect with. And finally, don't underestimate what you already know. Your first-party data is gold. Use it to personalize based on things like email signups and surveys, social contests with opt-ins, and mobile app usage. If a parent keeps checking your meal planner every Sunday, give them a promo code right before their grocery run. Smart parent marketing doesn't just follow profiles, it follows patterns. Track what matters, and you'll find the perfect moment to be helpful, relevant, and trusted without ever needing to guess. Speaking of tracking what matters, when it comes to parent and family marketing, not all metrics are created equal. We're not just here to get seen, we're here to build trust, spark action, and inspire advocacy. That means moving past surface level stats and focusing on signals that actually matter to parents. First up, engagement rate. Likes, comments, shares, and saves measured against total impressions. Why does this matter? Because parents don't casually engage. They pause when something reflects a real-life need or an emotional truth. A high ER tells you that this message hit home. Next, save and share rate. This is one of the most underrated parenting metrics out there. Parents don't always act in the moment, but when they save a lunchbox hack or share a sleep tip with their partner, it's a strong signal of intent. If your content is being saved or passed along, you've become useful, and that's everything. Third is click-through rate, a classic but powerful. It tells you if your call to action is hitting at the right moment in their parenting journey. Are you promoting toddler snacks to a newborn parent or sending preschool resources to someone still in the diaper aisle? CTR reveals when you're offering the right solution at the right stage. From click to action, that's conversion rate. Whether it's a purchase, a sign up, or a download, it tells you if your content not only got attention, but drove trust-based behavior. Parents only convert when they feel confident. So high CR isn't just about a strong CTA, it's about messaging that meets urgency and credibility. And finally, the sentiment score, because data can tell you what people did, but sentiment tells you how they felt. Parents express loyalty, frustration, joy, and relief in the comments, replies, and mentions. Tracking tone helps you refine not just what you say, but how you say it. Successful marketing isn't about shouting the loudest, it's about listening the closest. And when you measure what moves parents emotionally and behaviorally, that's when you start marketing in a way that actually matters. So we've covered a lot, from shifting content formats and platform behaviors to building meaningful creator relationships and smarter segmentation. So to wrap it all up, here are 5 bold strategies that you can take and run with this year, no matter what your brand size or budget. Number 1, forget perfection. Show the mess, the laughter, the meltdown at 8 a.m. Parents crave content that mirrors real life, not the filtered highlight reel. Build campaigns around relatable moments and let authenticity drive emotional connection. Number 2, don't rent attention, invest in advocacy. Create long-term partnerships. Micro and mid-tier parent influencers can deliver massive impact when treated as creative partners. Co-create over time, support their full identity, and build trust that leads to conversion and community. Number 3, it's not just about who you're talking to, it's where and how you show up. Tailor your message and creative to both the life moment and the media mindset. When you align content tone, length, and format with how parents use each platform, your messaging lands deeper and converts stronger. Number 4, let behavior guide strategy. Track what they do, not just who they are. Clicks, saves, scroll patterns, and search behavior are gold. Use real-time signals and contextual clues to deliver hyper-relevant content. And 5, measure what moves parents. Impressions are easy, emotion is harder, but it's what drives action. So track engagement rates, saves, sentiment, and conversion, not just reach. Look for signals of intent and advocacy, not just awareness. When you measure what matters, you start marketing with meaning. So in close, I hope we all remember that parents are one of the most powerful, discerning audiences out there, but they're also one of the most loyal when you get it right. These strategies aren't about chasing trends. They're about earning trust, showing up with purpose, and building something lasting. The parents of today are shaping the world of tomorrow. So let's show up with marketing and communications that respect, reflect, and support that journey. If this conversation sparks something for you, I'd love to keep it going. You can connect with me on social. I'm always sharing new insights and ideas and a little behind the scenes from life as a strategist and a mom of 3. You can also check out more of the work we're doing here at JPL as well, how we're helping brands understand and support families. Parent and family marketing means a lot to me, both professionally and personally. So I'm excited to connect with you and with others who really do care about getting it right. So we had reserved some time for Q&A. I'm going to hand it back to Jessica, and we're going to go over some of the questions that we received in the live session.
Yes, thank you, Lindsay. Thank you so much. So we did get a couple questions, and we also asked some questions of our current parent and family marketing clients that they submitted in advance, just to kind of kick things off. So, but in the session, one of the questions was, what is the best way to find parent creators in your area?
Yeah, and there are specialized platforms out there that can help companies and brands discover influencers based on things like location, niche, audience size, and audience demographics. Upfluence is a popular one, but you can also do it more organically in platform using things like hashtags and location tags as well.
Great. Another question is, does posting time matter?
Absolutely. Tailoring your posting time to your audience's behavior increases both visibility and engagement. So we can make some general assumptions like we kind of shared here about parents, couch scrolling after they put the kids to bed. But we can also look into things like when your competitors are posting, when they're receiving the most engagement, to show some opportunity where you can steal some of that. And then also looking at your own posts to see when your higher engagement times are is a good way to make some strategic decisions about posting time.
Okay, great. Next question. In the nonprofit world, any additional strategies to utilize in creating followers?
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to your message. We touched on some of these things today, but you want to combine emotional connection and community-driven engagement. So when you think about different, ways to gain followers, you could think about giveaways or challenges connected to your cause. The ALS Ice Bucket Challenge was huge, went viral. Or, show your nonprofit in action with real people and real voices and showing kind of the real impact that you're making. Those are a few good ways.
Okay. And what tools are you using to track the metrics? And as a strategist, I know you've got an arsenal. So
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about what you're digging into with this?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a full tech stack that we have in house to track different things. But tools like Rival IQ are great for social auditing, Quid or Mentions for social listening. But there are a host of more comprehensive social management platforms as well. Think like Sprinkler, Hootsuite, Sprout. There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, so there's really no one size fits all.
No, and like we typically will use a platform that maybe our clients are familiar with or are already using just to kind of be a little bit more seamless that way. So there are a lot to choose from.
Yeah, definitely. What are some of the most common mistakes brands make when trying to connect with parents on social?
Yeah, I mean, hands down, it is trying to be everything to everyone, and therefore you're diluting your message in the process. I think the most effective brands really zero in on specific parenting segments or mindsets or moments, and they craft content that speaks directly to that rather than casting that wide net.
Right. Yeah, I thought it was interesting in the survey, segmentate, like not knowing what to segment came in low, but not knowing what resonates came in high. But
Yeah.
segmenting is, I don't know if you picked that
So
up as a,
interconnected.
yeah, they're so connected. So actually, if you don't know what resonates, segmentation is actually the answer to that. So I
Absolutely.
thought that was interesting in the challenge question.
Yeah.
Great. How can a smaller brand compete with like national names when it comes to influencer driven family content? I know that might kind of seem, influencers feels kind of out of reach for a lot of brands. And I know you said in the webinar, this could be for anybody. So
yeah.
How can a smaller brand kind of get in on the action with this?
Yeah, I think that is the beauty of influencer marketing, because you don't need to find a celebrity or like a huge macro influencer. You can be incredibly effective through hyper local, hyper relevant, authentically aligned nano or micro creators who really truly just share your values. They also tend to be a little bit more flexible, a little bit more open to personalizing and kind of collaborating on what the content looks like, more than those kind of huge, really more expensive creators. So it is definitely something that everybody can tap into.
Great. And last question, how do you identify the right social platform for reaching different types of parents without spreading your team too thin?
Yeah, I mean, this is another common mistake, I think, is feeling like you need to be on all platforms, and in turn doing none of them maybe exceptionally well because you're understandably spread too thin. We always recommend social strategies that are really focused, prioritizing, 2 platforms where your audience is most active, but also where your content and message makes the most sense. It's really finding that blend. Like, where is your greatest growth opportunity? Focus on that first, do that really well, and then you can expand into other platforms and avenues.
Right. Yeah. So if you're doing the whole chart, like that's probably not the place to start.
Right.
If you're not
right.
sure what's like the whole chart that you shared. So
Yep. Yep.
good. All right. Well, thanks, Lindsey. Thank you for doing this again, the re-recording.
Yeah.
We got everything working, sound working. So, and definitely connect with Lindsey. All of you who attended live are in our newsletter for parent and family marketing, which comes out every other month. And follow Lindsey and JPL for some great parent and family marketing content. So thanks again, and have a great day, Lindsey. See you soon.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.